Due to the graphic nature of its content, listener discretion is advised.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight.
On this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, Mike, Sebastian, Tim, sit down with Mr. John Fannin. I said Mr. That's funny. 3-7 Weapons Company Marine. We all served together in Ramadi on 2 tours. He's out now and doing jarhead awesome-tastic things down in San Antonio, Texas. And I gotta say, brother, it is awesome having you on Cigars and Sea Stories. So welcome.
Well, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I've been a big fan of the show. I love what you guys are doing, man. It's great stuff. And as we were talking about before the show, it's pretty special. I mean, I didn't stay in any longer than my one tour, but from what I've seen in my experience just talking with veterans and stuff, 3-7 had a really special bond, not just in combat, but as we left too, as to bettering lives everywhere we go, not just while we were in the Marine Corps. Everybody's being successful. Everybody's making moves and doing things that are making them not only productive members of society, but helping out people too. And they're chasing their dreams, doing what they love at the same time. So it's just, gotta tell you, man, it's always good to connect back with guys that I serve with that are like that, man. It's a swell battalion. I just said swell. How fucking gay is that?
It is pretty swell.
3-7, no shit.
3-7 swell.
Hey, I should just clarify something, Mike, because you said we all served together at 3-7. I never served with 3-7, so just in case there's someone out there that wants to rip me to shreds for being a poser, that's
Right?
not me. I'm not that guy.
You're not a member of the Cutting Edge.
No, I'm just here enjoying your
shit.
company. That's it.
Were you ever stationed in 29 Palms?
I've been there about 100 times, but no. I went to comm school there in 1986.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was.
Yeah, and then I did dozens of caxes and stuff. So
That's awesome.
See, he's
Yeah.
Salt Dog. Cax.
Mojave Vipers and all that.
Dude,
I did sergeant's course at 29 Palms.
oh, that had to suck.
All you saw him doing was marching around
Yeah,
next
Yeah.
to that subway.
Yeah.
Yeah, were they-
30
I'm sure-
degree weather.
exactly. Were they marching around in the shade?
What shade?
Yeah. Where can you march in the shade in 29 Palms?
Exactly.
You'd take a dip in Bandini to
Exactly.
cool yourself
Marching
off.
around Lake Bandini.
There it is.
Dude, somebody told me that you could throw a body in that motherfucker and it'd just deteriorate. Like, it would take a couple of days or whatever, but it would just decompose. Everything would slough off, it'd be gone.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
a
I wonder if I can get respiratory, service-connected disability for having to, PT around Lake Bandini. That's worth, $200 a month, right?
It's gotta be.
There's got to be some sort of stipulation for that.
Yeah.
Just like
Burn pit, Lake Bandini.
Right.
just like the ice systems, making people infertile as it comes out 5 years later. Go figure.
Nice. That was in my truck.
Huh?
Mm.
Should we put a shit ton of radiation out right behind someone's testicles? Yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
Remember when we had the Warlock, and we went with it the whole deployment. We were using it, and then we found out at the very end it was like a gigantic paperweight in the back of our truck. It didn't do shit.
Didn't do anything.
it was the
Did
biggest
nothing.
waste.
It wasn't even on.
It wasn't even on right.
It was
None of the crypto
disconnected.
Was right. Yeah,
It was fucking... The hardware wasn't even hooked up. We looked at it, and everything was all squared away and shit. We're like, it's all set, man. It's gonna be fine.
Yes, it's good.
No, it's good. Dude, I remember because that was... Well, we weren't in the same truck. That was your truck, but...
Yeah, that was my truck.
I remember that we were looking at it like a bunch of morons, like a bunch of knuckle draggers. Like, how the fuck... How is this... Oh, dude.
I remember when I first found out it didn't work. I was sitting in Camp Ramadi, and Dameron came up to me. I'm eating chow, enjoying all the good food at Camp Ramadi in that gigantic-ass chow hall. And he's like, hey, man, got something funny to tell you. I'm like, all right, well, Dameron, you're rarely funny, but let's have at it. and he told me, he goes, yeah, our warlock the whole time, man, shit wasn't working. It's like, what do you mean it wasn't working? Like, it would break or go in and out. He's like, no, the whole time, man. Wrong crypto. No, it wasn't hooked up. It was just big old paperweight in your truck. And I'm like, sitting there thinking of all the IEDs. We'd like slow roll, be like, oh yeah, that's a real one. Let's cordon this off and call EOD. Like, number of IEDs I could spit on. And I'm just like, yeah, we're cool. We got the warlock. We're safe.
We're going to be fine. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Oh, good times. Shooting death.
Calling cell phones and blowing shit up.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Oh,
well, they
my
still
God.
they were still using pressure plates too, so we still had to keep
Oh,
the
yeah.
eyes open.
Yeah. I remember you found that one night. Y'all took, man, I can't even remember what it was, but Matt, like, near missed a pressure plate too, where y'all had taken a little side road off, and you had stopped right before a pressure plate, and truck 3 took lead, and they started to go screen a little bit north of y'all on our way to,
Oh, yeah.
what was it, 295, and we got to the middle of the intersection up there at 295, but on the way, Levin's like, hey, Curtis, what's that in the middle of the road? And I start to stand up, but I can't see anything out of the turret in my NVGs. And at the last minute, Levin's like, Curtis, miss it. And so Curtis, like, swerves. We ended up, like, missing about, like, you know, a foot or a couple of inches or something like that. Call EOD out for you guys. They were, oh, yeah, it's a pressure plate, and they blew that. And then we were like, hey, can you take a look at this big old object in the road that we dodged? Triple stacked anti-tank mine. Oh, cool.
Right.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, dude. No, I remember that. Well, I was trying to quit smoking at the time, and I had one of those nicotine patches on, and it was making me woozy sitting in the shit water near Gov Center. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
In between those two giant green gates on the eastern side of Gov Center, it was just like, it was like midway up your shin. You literally had to just go through shit water. Bennett Tanton, meet John Fannin. We served together in 3-7 Weapons.
I already introduced
Howdy.
myself.
Beautiful.
All right, so
Yeah, man, but remember that filthy shit pond that was in between the two gates
Yeah.
on the eastern side of Gov Center?
Yeah,
Dude,
that's the only video of 3-7 in Ramadi you can really find aside from the Swiss cheese building getting blown up by a 500-pound bomb.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was, and then we were like, we park outside to check and see if everybody's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone comes running out, and it's like, get the fuck out of there. You get like a block away, and the whole building implodes. Oh my God, stupidness.
But, yeah, man, like,
Ramadi. That place was, every once in a while, it was pretty fun.
yeah, dude, I live, like, not far from a guy from Lima. You remember when that 7-ton by Lima got hit really
Yeah.
bad?
Yep.
One of the guys, Neil Frastaglio, he lives, like, when I lived up a little bit north of the city in a little town called Cibolo, he lived, like, 5 minutes away from me. And we,
Nice.
like, Estrada from Lima was like, oh, dude, you're in San Antonio. My old squad leader, team leader, dude, he's in San Antonio, too. Y'all should have a beer together. And so I called him up, and we met at this, like, grungy-ass dirty bar. And he's like, we start, swapping war stories. And he's like, dude, do you remember when EOD got hit at 342 and, like, QRF came out? I was like, dude, yeah.
Yes.
I was in the high back that drove in the middle of the intersection covering everybody. He's like,
Yeah.
I was one of the dudes from Lima shooting over your roof. I'm
Fuck
like,
yeah.
You don't say. And so
Dude.
now he's...
Do you remember Kutzman, that little Laotian bastard who we gave up over to Lima, and he smokes those dudes in the car? They're just like flying down the road. Oh my God.
That was
Oh my
fucking
God.
Oh my gosh, that was rad.
And then he looks, I don't know if this is true or not. I was not out of the truck when I saw, that. But supposedly he turned and looked at his VC and said, do you think I got him? You just smoked a car with slap rounds, bro. I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah, I think they're gone.
Oh my God. Ugh.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude, that was a mess.
That was
342
crazy.
was fucking crazy.
That place, dude.
Yeah. Do you remember? Okay, so when we pulled out of there, people don't believe me when I tell them this. We pulled out of that motherfucker, and I was lead truck, and we pulled down there was the street, it was off Central. We pulled down the right, and then Blade gets in touch with us. You know, Cat Red, you've got to go back. We're like, what the fuck? And I'm listening to the squawk box. I'm like, dude, don't fucking tell me that I have to drive this entire section back in there. And then what do we have to do? Drive back in there and get the fucking robot out of the middle of the intersection. You're just like, son of a bitch. Am I really doing this right now? Is this really happening? Is this like...
dude, they almost stitched Levin, man. He was like, dude, these guys knew what they were doing. Because remember, he knew that he almost got stitched by like RPK or whatever, because it was in a nice little group on the telephone pole behind him where he was hiding before he ducked into a bush.
Yep. Yeah. Because that's where they pulled that sergeant from EOD out.
Yeah, dude, I had to take it when we got to... he was in the back of my high back. We took him to Camp Ramadi. It was me and Castle in that high back.
Oh, that's right. Castle was the other one in the high back. I was trying to remember the VC, the quote-unquote VC for the high back.
Yeah, right? The high back VC.
Two dudes in a Mack truck like, all right, hang on, boys, we're doing this. No fucking armor, just like, let's roll.
Dude, that was by far like the scariest time, I think, in Ramadi 342. Because, like... our comm was going in and out in that high back. Remember, we were in the mass cast high back. It wasn't our normal high back. We had to steal it from like some other platoon, and it was like the comm in there was just like janky as shit. Yeah. And we're sitting there trying to talk to everybody, and they're like, "Go over here." I'm like, "Go over where?" I don't know where.
The fuck are you talking?
Over there. I'm like, there is not a direction. Right, left, somewhere. Shit.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. We strong pointed the intersection when we rolled up, and the scene was just like nuts. Because I remember we hit the clearing barrels and we took off, and they were trying to tell us where to go, or they were telling me where to go. I remember that, and I was like, "It's all good. I know exactly where to go." Because there's just a thin black pillar of smoke.
Yeah.
Just going 10,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, that thing was. I mean, we knew where the fire was. It's like. I do a little volunteer firefighting while I was in college, and during the day, it was a small little municipality, small little town, and during the day, if there was a fire, like, I never need to plug it into my GPS. I'm like, I know where I'm going. I can see it. I'm good.
Oh.
Well, Texas is pretty flat, so it's not like you're going to have a hill in the way.
And at least in my area, we're pretty flat. Once you get out west, it gets a little... mountainous.
Yeah, you remember meeting up you, me, and Justin Parker at that gas station for a couple hours?
Yeah, man. That was my fondest memory, you guys, man. Like, it was. I think that was the first time I saw dudes from 3-7 since I'd been out. It was crazy cool, man. Like, what's Parker doing nowadays?
Well.
I don't know. I didn't even talk to Justin in God knows how long.
He's in Texas. He's trying to get a business going, but I haven't reached out to him in a little bit. So this reminds me, I'm going to have to call him. Sorry, Justin.
There you go. 5-paragraph business plan, Justin. We're gonna be good. Shameless plug. Shameless plug. No big whoop.
All right, Fannin.
Yo.
What were you while you were in the Marine? Give like a quick background for the listening audience. What is your experience?
I started off as a little boot bitch.
Right. I remember that. I remember that phase.
Yeah. And I was a dismount and like gunner and driver. Like we did everything in Cat Red. Like they did a really good job of switching everybody around to where you became pretty solid at everything in the truck. And that's what we did on the first deployment. In fact, I remember, Crunchies always tell us, 0311s always tell us, like, we're not good at foot patrol. And I'd always tell them bullshit. And then I'd remember that one night when we patrolled out from Gov Center. Penny, I don't think you were there because you were skeleton crew with the gun trucks, just you and the gunner. But everybody that could dismounted. and we started to patrol from Gov Center over to this house to find this dude that was housing the sniper that got Tapia.
No, I was there. I actually carried a ladder and the Halligan set. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember who all was there and who all stayed in the trucks.
No, I remember that, dude, because I fucking ate shit.
Dude, so my fondest memory is this: is we're patrolling, right, and there's that U-shaped like apartment thing where we were trying to stay in the shadows and be like super ninja,
Right.
Speed. Dude in front of me, I don't remember who it was, but I remember Corporal Burge was behind me. Right, dude in front of me is walking along in the shadows. All of a sudden, you hear him just crunch really loud on some broken glass. He turns around, looks at me like, and you can see it in the MVGs. He just has the, "Oh shit, my fucking bad, dude. Sorry." And I've got the look of, "You fucking idiot. We're supposed to be fucking quiet right now."
Right.
And so you just, he turns around, keeps on going, and I'm like shaking my head like, "What idiot? I'm not gonna do that." Going along a couple more steps, crunch, crunch. I'm like, son of a bitch. I just did the same thing. I turn around and give the same look to Corporal Burge. He gives me the same look that I gave to whoever was in front of me. I'm like, sorry. Turn around, keep walking. Not 5 seconds later, I hear crunch, 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 and I look back at Corporal Burge, and I'm like, I'm trying to do everything in my power not to laugh my balls off. And I'm just like, dude, everybody hit that glass.
Hell yes.
Everybody hit that shit.
Dude, I saw Burge when we were both sergeants in Quantico.
Nice.
That was pretty crazy.
That dude's got a pretty big old family going, right?
Yeah, he is a good man. That guy is good people. Hell yes.
Yeah, man, I liked him, man. He was always fair. Like,
yeah. Hey, I talked to Leo recently also. That reminds me, I gotta call him again. Leo's getting into digital marketing in a huge way.
Leo the Liberal.
Yeah. What?
Leo the Liberal.
Is that what you guys call him? I don't know.
I don't know.
Is he super lib?
I think so.
Right on. I'm gonna give him shit.
You got to be impartial so that we don't, cause any division amongst our listening audience.
Right.
Oh, I'm a libertarian. I don't even like. I'm so fed up with all this shit now.
I want to.
In college, I got really big into like watching C-SPAN in my spare time, like a fucking adult, and I don't know why.
Right.
And so I'm just sitting there looking at these politicians go back and forth, and I'm like, all these dudes are fucking morons.
I don't associate myself with people who base decisions on what television says. Yeah. So, because like I said, I've done this before. Yeah. And
I'm gonna have to call you out on this, Mike, because
there was a guy like a giant fire dragon thing and a dude with a sword, and before I knew it, I was on Yellow Footprints. Okay, you only make that one time you make that mistake. They got me. Never again will I base a decision off the TV.
Wait a minute.
It's all smoke and mirrors. What, even the same fucking sword, son of a bitch.
I know, right? That was an officer recruiting commercial. I watch it again. I'm like, son of a bitch. I got hoodwinked into being an officer. I don't even get to carry that cool sword. Because that's a cool sword. Like, I almost thought, like, once I got my degree, I was like, man, I should go be an officer so I can get that cool sword.
Yeah, but I still want I want an NCO sword that can actually cut shit the fuck up. I mean, like, can chop and mangle. And is a legitimate, like, weapon of destruction. I really want that.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, Christmas is right around the corner, right? No, wait.
Oh.
What?
Well, if you're really nice to Juslin, maybe he'll get his goat to get it for you.
There it is.
Yes.
Yes. I got to hear about the goat.
Are we talking about our buddy at OP?
OP Haria. OP Haria.
God.
Dude, I used to launch bacon in fucking in plastic snow globe things out over the cemetery. Like, OP Haria was a fun fucking place, and yet it was a shithole at the same time.
Well, that's why I tell everybody, like, my favorite, like, QRFs always came with, like, Kilo Company, because you're like, oh, we're going to get into a firefight today. Cool.
Yes.
Like, because Kilo would be engaged for, like, 2 hours before they'd call QRF.
Yep.
Like, if you got a QRF from Kilo Company, you knew shit was going down.
Dude, it was awesome, though, because every once in a while they would say, can you put QRF on the clearing barrels? Because this shit might get real.
Yeah.
And then you hit it, right? Oh, dude. Dun, 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 dun. You're going the opposite way down Route Michigan.
Yeah.
You know, Willie's screaming and waving a 9mm at people. They'll move because the guy's got a fucking
my
pistol.
favorite person in Cat Red. Oh my god.
Dude, that guy's got a screw loose. I love him.
I love Willie, man.
When the glass factory happened, he was singing, why do you build me up? Buttercup, baby, with you let me. And then the glass factory blows up. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. That song and the glass factory, that's what it's associated with.
Remember our first night that we went out remember this is why I never trust politicians or state officials. It was like our first 2 weeks in Ramadi, and they're like, yeah, they're going to bring all these government officials and, you know, all these high-ranking people for Iraq. They're going to bring them through on Route Michigan in bongo trucks. And we've been there for like 2 weeks. And we were like, yeah, that's a fucking mistake.
God, dude. Yeah.
And so, of course, we get called out. And I remember we've all seen Generation Kill, right? Like where Pearson gets out when they're in the traffic jam before the bridge and he starts yelling at everybody to back up.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Well, Willie was yelling at that tank that was parked right next to Bravo 3 because they wouldn't let him do overhead fire. He could see the buildings all the gunfire was coming from, but the tank was parked at like an angle, and so Willie couldn't engage over the top of the tank. And even though like he's seeing where all the gunfire is coming from, he's just standing up in the turret, waving his arms like, "Get the fuck out of my way, Levin! Can I just shoot? Can I just fucking shoot already?" And Levin's like, "No, man, we can't." Like, and you know how much Levin wanted to let him shoot, but he's like, "Dude, we can't do overhead fire. Like, we will all be fucked." Right. And Willie's just like losing his mind up there. Meanwhile, bullets are pinging off his shield and shit, and he's like, "God damn, this is fucking bullshit."
Yeah,
dude. Willie's my favorite person because he did not give a shit. He's the epitome of zero fucks given.
Right. Break glass in case of war.
Yeah.
Right.
And mother.
No, I remember that night. We were using rugs as pole-less litters because that was in the high back, and they blew out my front left tire.
Well, that was very impolite.
Right? It's bullshit, man. Yeah, dude. We were hauling ass down Michigan, and you know how the 14s are when you go underneath of the lights and shit? How it's like one eye, the other eye, one eye, the other eye. Tank!
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck is that, dude? Yeah. Swerve around it. Yeah. The firefight, Willie in the turret. And then, of course, man. I think it was like 2 or 3 rounds hit the hood. And then one definitely like bounced around on the inside, blew apart the wheel. We take off down Route Michigan. Everybody takes off in front of me. I think it was Burge who was behind me.
Yeah.
Burge is like, what the fuck, man? Why are you slowing down? And there's like a high back and then a gun truck in the middle of the Michigan. And everybody else is in Charlie Medical. And I'm like, ah!
I remember that.
Oh my God, dude. The fucking run flat got ripped off. I was straight down to the rim. That was it. And then I went in. Yellup starts screaming at me because I climbed out of the truck. And he's like, why'd you stop? And I'm like, I literally don't have anything. I have a rim.
I'm driving on the rim.
I have a rim.
Dude.
And right, and he's looking at me and he's like, are you going to be able to fucking make it down to Charlie Medical or not? Because he's got the fucking accent. Oh my God. Yep. And then I hopped back in and drove to Charlie Medical. And we were screaming, dude. Willie was screaming. Well, I had Willis in the back, Doc Willis, and he was just screaming out the top, dude. Fucking move! And we had blackouts. There was no way. Like, I had my PEC 16 leaning, or not PEC 16, PEC 4 or whatever the hell it was. Like, trying to flash or whatever. Oh, dude, it was retarded. Man. It was retarded.
That was a very interesting night.
Yep.
Welcome to Ramadi 3-7.
Kill it. Yeah, dude.
But then, so that was first deployment. On the second deployment, I kind of got bitched out. And while I mean, it kind of sucked because I wanted to be with, the battalion. I got bitched out to a MIT team, which is actually, I've found to be pretty impressive on the resume. Yeah. But it was really cool. I made a lot of friends. I'm still friends with one of our interpreters that we had over there. The other one, we had two really good interpreters. We called them Harry and Pete. You'll see, Mike, if you see some of my status, like Harry comments on, but his name is Hadi Jawad. He's the guy with all the Arabic writing in his profile picture and a very Arabic name.
Hey, there you go. Mystery solved.
Crazy, right?
Well, I figured it was a turd. Yeah.
But him and Pete, man, they were brutal because, like, obviously we couldn't do a lot of stuff to the Iraqis when they would do stupid shit. Like, we'd be at our range up there on Snake Pit, and we'd be teaching them marksmanship and be like, hey, semi-auto, and we'd tell our interpreters, and they'd tell them, and these idiots would go like full auto, and South ECP would get impacts on their on the ECP, and we're like, see, like, I'd find the dude, like, as soon as they would let us stream off, we knew we were gonna get a call because these guys couldn't shoot for shit,
right?
And so, like, I'd go running over there yelling and screaming, and if it was Pete, I always loved to have Pete with me on the range because Pete was a brutal motherfucker. He was the equivalent of Willie, but he was an Iraqi native. His dad was Chechnyan and his mom was Iraqi, and he was one bad dude. And I'd be like, Pete, tell this slime ball slap dick motherfucker that if he puts it on fully auto one more time, I'm gonna shit down his fucking neck so hard. And just like, and like Pete just sitting there looking at me like, okay. I'm like, you translate that shit literal. Pete starts yelling at him. The guy starts back talking Pete, and Pete would just haul back with his right foot and just kick the dude who's laying in the prone straight in the ribs, and then yell at him in Arabic some more. And I was like, "We good, Pete?" He's like, "Yeah, he won't do that no more." I'm like, "Oh,
we are." Oh my god, dude! Yes,
dude, our Terps were brutal. They did not give a shit.
No, I feel you, man.
But it was
well, and
cool,
it's a completely different. It's a completely different culture, also. See, that's the other thing. Remember Ben? No, not Ben. Charlie. Remember Charlie on the first tour?
Yeah.
Dude, I went walking down to the clearing barrels, and I look at him like, what's up, bro? Where are you from? And he looks at me, and he's like, Michigan. And I about fucking dropped a nut. I was just like, what? Wait. No, I'm from Michigan. As if this guy couldn't be. Okay, so, like, where? Dearborn or whatever? And he's like, no, hell no. Motherfucker. I'm like, wow, this dude is crazy awesome. And I guess his dad was instrumental in pumping intel on Saddam's regime and the states, helped keep his family alive all the way to America and shit like that. And he's like, oh, dude, I owe everything to America, so I'm just going to come over here and fuck shit up. And I'm like, Charlie, you're the greatest person in the world.
Dude, he was with us that night we went to that guy's house that
yes, he was.
And remember how bad that dude screamed?
Oh, yes,
when the head guy and Charlie went in the room with him alone.
Oh, God, dude. Oh, man. Yep.
And I don't know if you knew this, but so, like, Flynn was with me in the high back taking that guy back to Shark Base because that's where we ended up taking him. I don't know.
Yep.
And this dude, you know how these detainees were, man. They would start crying out loud as shit in the middle of the night, like saying whatever the fuck they would. And Flynn, you remember Flynn. He's just sitting there, with the music going on in Flynn's head, just watching the rooftops and watching the detainee. And Flynn's just like, do 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 do. He's going to be like, and I have the utmost confidence in Flynn that whatever comes up, he's going to smoke. But he's doing it like a circus. He's like the zebra in freaking Madagascar.
He
like
was
doing that
so
shit, but he's gonna stone cold killer.
So happy about it.
He's so happy. He's an angry little lawn gnome.
It's terrifying how happy he was about that shit. He slept in the rack next to me. Like it was like there was that fucking just bread right next to me.
I know.
Man.
He was hilarious.
Yes.
And so, but this dude's crying out at the top of his lungs, and I'm like, dude, I'm tired of this dude talking like, hey, man, like, shut the fuck up. I know you know what I'm saying. We heard you talking English in the house. Don't be an asshole. Just shut the fuck up. Like, you're captured. Game over. We won tonight.
Right.
And he'd shut up for like 30 seconds. I'm like, all right, cool. This is going to be good. 30 seconds later, he starts shouting shit again. I'm like, man, I'm not getting an RPG in the back of this high back just because you want to be a little dickhole, you know? And so I just started wailing the ever-living monkey shit out of him. And I thought I was a bad dude because I was doing that. I was like, yeah, fuck you, man. You kill my boy. Like, you help kill my boy. Fuck you, wah, wah, wah. We get to Shark Base. I don't know who it was. These two like OGA guys or Delta operators. I mean, they look exactly like they do on the video games and in the movies. Like 6'4", probably 240, 250, solid muscle, huge beards. One grabbed him on each side of the, on the shoulder and then on the pant leg. One on each side. They just grabbed him and like threw him out of the high bat. Just like one fluid motion, that dude went flying about 10 feet. And I'm just like, oh, shit.
Bagged and
That's
tagged.
cool.
And we got that motherfucker.
Yeah. Remind me never to piss off any of these dudes.
Dude.
Shit.
Dude, that was the best. Yeah, but that was the best part about that whole thing is like, I mean, that motherfucker killed our buddy.
Oh.
I mean,
bitch.
we knew that was the motherfucker. You know, it's one thing where it's like you kill the guy, okay, whatever. No. I mean,
like it was personal.
Oh, I pray to God that guy's rotting in a hole somewhere. I can't imagine how awful that human being's life is right now.
Once they're done with him, I hope they just
son of a bitch.
ended it.
Yeah. Well, and I remember, oh man, there were just so many crazy times. Do you remember that one guy who tried killing himself? He put his pistol in his mouth, pulled the trigger, and it didn't go off. Do you remember that shit?
No.
Oh, you don't remember this? Oh, dude, Callahan would remember this. We were standing in the fucking living room, and this dude asked whether or not he could hug his wife goodbye.
Oh.
She had a pistol. She had a pistol behind the pillow. He pulled that thing out, put it in his mouth, pulled the trigger as a Makarov, and the fucking thing didn't go off. And we were like, oh! And then grabbed that son of a bitch, yoinked, and went outside. It was his wife and his 2 daughters are watching this shit. Click! Oh, you fucked up. You're going to wish that thing went off. You're going to wish that motherfucker went off. Man. I am telling you. Oh, dude.
Talk about an epic fail.
Oh, my God, dude.
One time Russian reliability fails you.
Oh, my 19-year-old body was not ready for that. I'm telling you right now. And when that dude did not blow his fucking head off, I was just like, what do I do now? Like, I legitimately didn't know what to do with my brain. I was like, he wants to. Right, exactly. I was kind of disappointed because I wanted to see that dude smoke himself. But at the same time, I'm like, do I kill this motherfucker? I mean, he's got a pistol, but I know that it's empty. And so we just tackled him, dragged him outside. Like, oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh,
that was awesome.
My heart is pumping thinking about that shit. You're just like, oh, dude. When I saw that thing come out, I thought he was going to smoke Callahan. But he went straight for his own dome piece. We didn't even get a shot off or anything like that either. If he would have pulled that pistol up, he would have at least got 1 round off against us. But if it would have gone click while the gun was pointed at one of us, that would have been a whole nother story, I think. That would have been
an ass whipping that nobody talked about to hire. Like,
see, I think Callahan would have ghosted him. Even if it would have gone click.
Yeah.
Because he raised muzzle to him and then saw that the pistol was going to his own head. I swear to God, for a second, and I can't guarantee this, but for a second, that man Callahan had to have been thinking to himself, oh, okay, let's see what happens now. Because I know for a split second, I'm like, this dude's going to smoke himself, and I got a front row seat. I mean, I'm 5 feet away from this dude. Click. Oh my God, dude, his eyes were so fucking wide after that. He's like, I'm still here. Where are my virgins? Oh, dude, yeah.
I'm still hag? Shit. I thought this was going to go so much better.
Dude. Oh my God, man.
Dude, you know she probably took the ammo out too. Be like, this asshole thinks he's gonna get off easy. You know, he hit me. Fuck him. I'm taking the bullets out. He's gonna get his ass kicked by the Marines.
No, he was condition 3. That was the thing. He was. Oh yeah, yeah. Like if you think about it, he had young daughters, and that pistol was behind the pillow, so it makes perfect sense why he would be condition 3. You know what I mean? They at least got a racket. Oh, dude. Oh man. Yeah, dude.
That story is so fucked, but yet so like, damn, compelling.
That's so reminiscent of our time in Ramadi.
It's like, holy shit.
Oh, dude. Oh my god!
Remember the Post-it note or whatever on the IED when we first got there?
Oh my god! Yes.
Welcome
Like,
37.
Culture shock. Yeah, just like everybody kind of knew. Like everybody was a little bit like antsy and afraid. We were like, because we didn't know what the fuck we were getting into. Like none of us had been in a war before.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, and we'd heard everything about Ramadi. Like. Remember when Sergeant Kidder took us all outside and lined us up like before we deployed, say, "Hey, 1 and 3, y'all are coming home as cargo," and we were just like, "Oh shit!" We get there and we're already paralyzed. And we're like, "Oh shit, holy fuck!"
Yes,
and then they leave a note for like, "Oh fuck, these dudes are not playing around."
Oh, dude, yeah, man.
Was that when we had already transitioned from Camp Ramadi to Hurricane Point? Or
it was during it. It was during the transition.
It was during the rip. Because we were over there, but I remember we didn't have the dismounts yet because we had already lost Swanberg. We had already lost Shane, yeah. Yep. So
that was quite the welcome. Fucking A, man.
Dude, that was fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
I remember my neighbor in 29 Palms had gotten back from Fallujah and heard that we were going to Ramadi and was like, "Fuck that." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" Dude, Phantom Fury was the fall before. Yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean fuck that? He's like, "Oh, dude, I went through Ramadi one time and I'll never go back to that place." Contact the entire time. We got fucking mortared. I was like, "Oh, that's going to suck." Oh my God. Yep. He did not disappoint.
Yeah, Ramadi was like people. You know what I was talking with Neil about last night? I was over at his house for dinner, and it's funny. We were talking. I said, I just now realized this though, man. Whenever I tell people that are in the know about Ramadi and they look at me, the first thing they look at is my legs.
Oh.
And they're like, "How do you still have all your fucking legs?" And I'm like. Because it's still very surreal that it was that bad of a place, and we came out.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of really great guys, but when you think about it, it could have been a lot worse. We could have lost a lot more people, and somehow we didn't. And I to this day, I'm just like, how the fuck?
A lot of that was training, man. A lot of it was how we reacted. I mean, we right before then we went through that package at I think it was still called CAX before that deployment, or RCAX. Yeah.
Cigars and Sea Stories is proud to support and sling Counter-Strike coffee. Counter-Strike coffee, I want you to know, is meant to be drink black. Now, I myself love coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker. I went away from black coffee for a little while. Needed the cream and sugar when I was rocking it with the generic blend. Counter-Strike coffee brought me back into the fold in a huge way. They do a great dark roast. I'm a big fan of napalm. That's my fave. Smooth operator is good, though. It can go with cakes and pies, and I got a bit of a sweet tooth. I know a couple of us do, And then also Firewatch. Firewatch, that's going to be the kick in the ass that you need in order to get your day going the right way. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't already done so, check out counterstrikecoffee.com. Use promo code Cigars and Sea. You will get 10% off. Again, that's counterstrikecoffee.com. Use promo code Cigars and Sea to get yourself 10% off.
Do you guys know how many walking wounded we had that stayed in zone?
No, how many?
Over 30.
Jeez.
Over 30 stayed in zone.
That's insane.
I think it was Colonel Turner told me that one time. Like, candidly on Christianitos, or on San Mateo area, because he was 7th Regiment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, guys getting peppered, and think about how many guys were wounded. I don't even remember how many WIA we had. But we had shit tons of wounded that wound up going home and were not KIA. So we had 17 KIA out of the battalion on the first tour, but I don't remember how many were wounded. I mean, we had a shit ton of wounded. Because I remember, dude, Highback QRF was just doing work.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, dude,
Oh.
Gov Center. Remember when Gov Center got hit by that fucking RPG on the corner post and it blew like 3 dudes up at the same time? They all lived.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I had 2 in my truck and I think you had 1. Because
Yeah,
both
and
of
I'm
us.
really good friends with Cook from Kilo, Clay Cook from Kilo.
Yeah.
And dude, the stories he tells me, like, it's funny to hear, like, what we did from their perspective.
Oh.
Like, because, you know, I'm always like, yeah, man, what happened with, like, remember when y'all, Mark 19, the dude with the freaking IED on his wheelchair? And Clay's like, oh, yeah, let me tell that story, because it's pretty funny.
And what do we...
And he tells it from Kilo Companies. So I'm just like, and I wouldn't do it justice, but he would, like,
Oh my god.
and it was hilarious. Like, they just
Yes.
sit there. Oh, and oh my gosh, dude, they lit a dude on fire on accident because, like, the dude was wearing like a wool sweater, and he got tagged, but he got tagged with a tracer, and so the tracer kept burning and burned the sweater.
Oh my god, dude. Jesus.
Wasn't
No,
it during
you
the rip that one of the gunners from the previous battalion shot at a IED with a mark and shrapnel came underneath his
Oh, I know what you're
under his
talking about.
gunner's armor?
That was
Oh,
that was
that was
before the
Hollins.
rip. No, this was before the rip. I know exactly what you're talking about, Just, because that was in the truck that I ripped out of, essentially. Like, that was in my truck, basically, is the easiest way to put it, but it happened 2 weeks before we got there. It happened 2 weeks before we got to Camp Ramadi. And it was a piece of shrapnel snuck underneath of the gunner shield and above the headliner, and 2 quarter-sized pieces of shrapnels entered in below the sappy, right under the navel.
ooh.
And it split his aorta. I mean, there's nothing that you can do at that point.
Yeah, like, that's,
You know.
holy shit, like,
They
how do you
smud.
protect against that?
Well, and he was the one who smutted the round. So he was the one who shot at it, you know, with 40 Mike, and then he drops out of the turret bleeding from the abdomen. I mean, Jesus, man. There was, like, nothing that they could do. You know, it was just, it was a fucking fluke in nature. Well, smudding rounds is dangerous business, dude. Anytime you're doing synthetic munition detonation or anything like that, like, Rofus rounds ain't no joke, especially when you're coming out of a Sasser into the side of a 155 or a 160 or something. That
Yeah.
bitch is gonna blow big.
Oh,
I mean,
I
that thing- right?
doing task
Remember pulling that fucking Sasser out, and then the entire market would just turn into a ghost town.
Oh.
Remember that shit?
Dude, no. Oh, remember, you want to talk about Ghost Town. Remember when they put out on Al Jazeera that, like, the insurgents had taken back, like, all of Ramadi and the souk? And we were just like, oh, fuck
really?
no. Is that fucking right? And, like, all the
really?
cat platoons that had vehicles just went
Oh.
out and, like, tore hell through the city.
Yeah.
Like, fuck all you dudes. You didn't take shit.
Fire truck was my jam. Coming down fire truck, and then you hit the median going across racetrack, and you just bounce that bitch.
Oh, yeah.
You can get a Humvee airborne going across that motherfucker. Oh, we gotta have Callahan on this. Callahan will talk about driving in the back or riding in the back of that fucking in the back of that up armor. Oh,
That
baby.
Oh man, that was hilarious.
We-
That shit was so insane that day. Like, there was so much shit just going on. Those people were just doing their daily lives in the souk. All of a sudden, we just come careening in, just popping smoke, grabbing motherfuckers, opening their fucking car doors, slamming them into walls, just doing all just like wanton violence on the whole city. Like, you said you took it over, so apparently everybody here is an insurgent. Everybody's a bad guy.
Right.
Like, everybody here's a bad guy.
Exactly.
You said it. Bye-bye.
Dude, that was awesome. I remember the Frago in the hood was like, all right, we're going to go snake bite anybody in the souk. Wait, no. Can you clarify, like, anybody? Like, you mean anybody on the bolo? Or no, anyone.
No, anybody.
Just
The
anybody.
bolo
If they're-
the bolo was the dumbest thing in the world, too. Be on the lookout for
Right.
a black opal. Yeah, out of how many thousand of them in this city?
Right, exactly.
6,000? Cool. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm good.
Right. A maroon opal. You mean a fucking taxi? Is that what's going on right now? Is that really? Are we be on the lookout for a taxi? Is that what's? God damn it! You're sitting on post alone, you know, with some of these bolo lists, and you're just like, son of a. I mean, it looks.
Like, he looks suspect.
Exactly.
Like, especially at ECP, like, everybody at ECP looked suspect. I remember, what was it on the Far East post? It had a 240 on, what was it, Nova coming out. And, like, these dudes would come early in the morning and start to, like, move the barbed wire. And you're like, look, I know he's probably innocent, but, like, the dude's moving the barbed wire. Like, aren't the Iraqi soldiers supposed to go move the barbed wire? Like, isn't that a little bit shady? And you're just sitting there, like, waiting for a car to come careening around the corner speeding after this dude freaking moves the concertina wire. And you're like, shit.
No, dude. Fuck ECP North.
That place, like, it sucked, but it was so fun. Remember when we had to do, like, the Freedom Dash because the high back had concertina wire all wrapped around its axle?
Yes! Yes!
I was saying yes! Like, random intervals, just, like, sprinting our lives off for the front gate of Hurricane Point. We're just, like, not even looking where we're going. We're just, like, running everything we got.
Yes, I remember that distinctly because there was a high sniper threat and they had two mams on separate rooftops. One had like a fucking mattress that he was laying on. And we're like, oh yeah, okay, a mattress. And then I can't remember what it was. I think it was Dragon Eye footage or some shit like that, whatever. But they said, no, you don't understand. Like, he's in the prone on a mattress. We're like, oh, that could suck, you know. We,
yeah,
you know, like, all right, whatever, you know. Meanwhile, we're like, zigzag, hut, 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 hut. I'm like,
they were counting off the weirdest intervals. They're like, 1, 2, go.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go.
Oh yeah.
1, go. And you're just like, shit, is this gonna work, or are we all just gonna end up like with gunshot wounds to our ass like Forrest Gump?
Well, hey, man, we got to wrap shit up here. I apologize. Yeah. This is fun, and this is awesome, and we have more for next time. And, yeah, dude, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing Cigars and Sea Stories with us, Broseph.
No problem, man. I really appreciate it. Really had a great time. Next time I'll have some more concrete stuff for y'all, and maybe we'll talk a little bit more about some more productive shit.
Yeah, we'll get into what you're doing now.
I'm just playing Xbox and talking shit to 13-year-old kids about how they don't know how it's really like.
Right on.
You really got to stick it to them with that truth, you know?
Yeah, be like, that's not how it works in real war, pussy.
Hell yes. John Fannin, thanks, man. 3-7 Weapons Marine. Yes,
Juslin,
absolutely.
And Bennett. It was great, guys. Y'all take it easy. Keep up the good work.
Hey. All right.
Fucking raw. No shit.
Kill, crush nuts. Listening audience, if you haven't already done so, subscribe, rate, review the podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Player FM. Make sure that you share that with a friend. Rate us. We're looking to go higher and higher and higher on iTunes. And I'm pretty sure it's official. We're past 10,000 listens. So thank you so much. And continue to listen, and listen more, and share with a friend, and then listen some more. I love you guys. Ugh, this is awesome. I love my goddamn job. You guys take care. Semper Fidelis always. Juslin, cue the music.